Welcome to Jorn, God of Winter. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we will keep on this. We don't have any sort of card draw action, but Soul Ring into Mana Crypt into a quick Courser of Crewfix. Not Courser of Crewfix, Crewfix God of Horizons. That sounds like a pretty good plan, so let's go and keep on this one. And our opponent's on the play, so hopefully we can draw into something that will give us a little bit of extra gas after we dump our hand, like Modern Affinity. Which, if you never played against Modern Affinity, it's one of the worst feelings in the world. They just dump their hand out and you're like, okay. So we do have a couple different options. So we've got Bayou into Exploration, which is going to allow us to play extra lane. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's go for Exploration. This is going to be an extra lane drop for the turn. Let's go Snow-Covered Island. Let's go for Soul Ring. And we could go for Mana Crypt, but I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go and pass the turn. We could have sequenced that turn a little bit better, but I'm metagaming because sometimes when you have the most explosive turn one hand on 1v1 commander, sometimes your opponent will scoop up because they don't want to play against such an explosive hand. And so, not saying our opponent's going to do that or they have a history of that, but I've played enough games to where that happens and people scoop up pretty quick. So to get off to a little bit of a quick start against the first Sliver, then really capitalize next turn, we'll end up doing that. So we can definitely make this work. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. And that is going to be a Sky Shroud Claim, which I really do like. So let's do this. So let's go for Mana Crypt. Let's get old Mana Crypt on the battlefield. And we end up going for Sky Shroud Claim. We'll go Snow-Covered Forest, Snow-Covered Forest. Let's go Sky Shroud Claim. My goodness. This is the things dreams are made of. Let's go for Sky Shroud Claim. Let's go ahead and grab, at this point, so we've got 1, 2, 3. We've access to 4 mana, which is still going to be Jorn, God of Winter. I think what we'll end up grabbing is, we'll just grab our 2 dual sources. Let's go Rimewood and Woodland Chasm. Have those enter the battlefield, and let's get Jorn onto the battlefield. I kind of like that. So let's go for Jorn, and then next turn we can end up going for Crewfix. I guess technically we could go Crewfix this turn, but I like getting Jorn down because that gives us opportunity to untap. So anything else pass the turn to our opponent. We have all the mana in the world. We just need to find one of our X spells to draw some cards. So, but let's get over to the commanders. So we're playing Jorn, God of Winter. Whenever Jorn attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. Then on the backside of Jorn, we have Called Ring. You may play target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. And that's going to be a Harmonic Sliver. Playing against the first Sliver, little baby 8-pound, 6-ounce baby first Sliver, don't even know word yet. Cascade, and then Sliver spells you cast have Cascade. So we'll see what sort of fun stuff we're against. If we're playing against Slivers, not going to lie, the first Sliver is one of my love-hate Slivers. I love playing against it because it's so explosive, but yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's go and choose Tails on this one. We are definitely on the lookout for some sort of draw spell. That is what we want to see very badly. So that's going to be Abrupt Decay, which is going to be a wonderful target for Harmonic Sliver. So let's go for Crewfix, God of Horizons. And then we're going to go for Abrupt Decay on Harmonic Sliver. And this is still going to allow us to untap a Jorn and add a bunch of tap mana to our mana pool. So let's go Abrupt Decay on Harmonic Sliver. That's going to be black and green. And we'll just go and tap down Bayou. So there we go. All right, so let's go and go to the next step. Let's go and swing in with Jorn. It's going to be a, there we go. Swinging in, that's going to be, Jorn is a, 3/3, so we're definitely good to go on this one. That's going to untap Jorn, and then untap all of our mana, and then anything else. We have no cards in the hand. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. It's going to knock him down to 27, and that will be 3 total commander damage. So we will tap down our mana at the end of the turn to go for a Crewfix. But yeah, like I mentioned, at this point, we are just digging for some sort of X spell or some sort of payoff spell. Our opponent is a little tight on mana. They do have with Coalition Relic, that does help. They didn't make the land drop for the turn, but Mana Weft Sliver out there, they can definitely get some good stuff moving. That does put them in the category of being able to go for the first Sliver pretty quick. And so we'll see what sort of game is going to unfold. You know, we did get off to a quick start, but, you know, if we don't have a payoff card, then We're just going to be sitting there swinging in with a 3/3 Jorn trying to get in for commander damage. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link. That way, if you're in the market for some cards, you can help support the channel at the same time. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander online on Magic Online, they've got you covered. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. That's going to get you 10% off of your order for playmats or anything like that. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, and it's tap down mana time, because I don't want to forget. And Jorn does not tap down for mana. All right, so we're going to move on to the end step. That's going to give us 6 floating mana. Let's go and choose Tails on this mana crypt trigger. I've lost the flip, and let's see what we draw into. Don't want to see a land. Ancient Tomb, okay. All right, so let's put Ancient Tomb down. And yeah, I guess at this point we just tap down Chasm, Rimewood Falls, tap down all of our snow lands. There's no real reason to tap down Bayou or Ancient Tomb until our opponent's turn. So let's go and go to the combat step. Let's go and push in with Jorn. Be swinging across for 3. Knock them down to 24, and that's 6 total commander damage, and then anything else pass the turn to our opponent. So, but yeah, it is officially free time. Now, if you have not seen Jorn before, what are we doing with this deck? Jorn is definitely Sultai, or this particular build of Jorn is Sultai kind of X spells. We do have Unbound Flourishing in here. We do have other kind of X spells that really do allow us to try to run away with the game. We've got Pull from Tomorrow, Thassa's Intervention, Stroke of Genius. All of those are going to give us some just insane card advantage. You can see where if we draw into something like Pull from Tomorrow, you know, just in floating Crewfix mana, we've got 11 mana. That's going to be 11 card draw and then discard 1 card. Some of the other kind of stuff that we can work towards, we do have Villainous Wealth, which is going to allow us to grab some good stuff, you know, especially against a Sliver deck like this. That's a pretty good feeling. We'll go for Crystalline Sliver, okay. But yeah, being able to go for Villainous Wealth and build our own Sliver board states definitely helps us out on this one, because if you're playing the first Sliver, you definitely want to have a lot of permanence in your deck. And so one of the other things we're also running is Mind Grind. And sometimes that spell doesn't work out that well, but you can see if we get Crewfix down, have a lot of mana, might be able to mill them out. We'll see. All right, let's go and choose Tails on this mana crypt trigger. Won the flip, and I've lost Ponder. Okay, hey, that's card advantage right there. So let's go for Ponder, and that's going to be Cultivate. And we're going to put those on top on any order, and we're going to shuffle our library. See what we draw into. Prismatic Vista. Okay, so let's go Prismatic Vista, and we'll go and crack Prismatic Vista, grab ourselves a snow-covered. So we're looking at 2 black sources right now. We're doing pretty good on blue and green. I think we'll just grab a snow-covered swamp. So let's have the snow-covered swamp into the battlefield. We could just go ahead and swing into, add some extra mana. Why not? Let's do it. We can recast Jorn. It's going to be 5, but I still think we'll get ahead on that mana. So let's go and tap down Woodland Chasm. There we go. Move into the next step. Let's go and push in with Jorn. And our opponent knows they've just got a free block on this one. Oh, and also, I think I did forget Ancient Tomb and Bayou at the end of our opponent's turn after that Cascade trigger. So a little bit of a sequencing error on my part on that one. So it's crossed off Sliver. And then let's go and cross off Triumph, because they have played those 2 cards. So let's see if our opponent wants to offer up the block. It's just going to be a free block on that one. And then we can recast Jorn. And we will definitely return Jorn back to the command zone. And then anything else, we're going to pass. I think we got ahead on mana that one. If we just traded mana, I do apologize. But sometimes doing like quick little, you know, debits and credits on mana with something like Jorn swinging in and then recasting it while you're delivering commentary, it's a little rough sometimes to make sure that you come out on the other side of that one. But yes, we do have X spells in here. We do have Hydroid Krasis, which is another beautiful option for the deck. You know, simply being able to get this huge flying threat on the battlefield, get some really good life. I think we get life gain from Hydroid Krasis, or at least just getting that card draw from Hydroid Krasis is a wonderful option. And then we also have Zahara. You know, let's say we get Zahara on the battlefield, we start casting a lot of. All right, so we got Magma Sliver coming down. But yeah, so we get Zahara on the battlefield, we start casting those X spells, and then get some of those Hydra tokens, which is a pretty good feeling. So look at this Cascade. Let's see what Darkheart's going to run into. I know there is some 1-mana Slivers. They have First Strike. All right, so we're not running into a haste option with Sliver. And I'll probably end up posting this. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that stack. That's a beautiful Sliver stack right there. Cashing in that Ancestral Vision. Get Darkheart Sliver, and then that's going to be Magma Sliver. So they do have Summoning Sickness. So we are just looking at 8 mana coming across right now. Let's take a little bit of a closer look with what's going on over there. So we've got Mana Enables with Mana Weft Sliver. Crystalline's going to give them Shroud, so we don't really want spot removal. All slivers have target sliver gets +X+0, where X is the number of slivers on the battlefield. Oh goodness. And then Provoke, untap and block if able. So that's definitely going to hurt us with Jorn. And that's going to be Striking Sliver. They're going to have first strike. So we'll see how they decide to swing in with this one. They do at least have access to tapping down Mana Weft Sliver to give the first sliver a little bit of an extra bonus, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're going to get +7. And so really, that's going to be a pretty good chunk this turn. I think at this point, we're just kind of on top decking Villainous Wealth or Bust, because then that'll allow us to, my goodness, look at this. And see, this is why I was talking about earlier in the game, why it's so fun to play against the first sliver, is that if you're just a fan of Magic, oh no. Okay, so it's going to be Poisonous 1. And we'll see if they hit Wheel of Fortune off of this. Yeah, all right, so they miss on that one. So it's going to be Sliver entering the battlefield. Poisonous 1, that's going to be a poison counter. And there was Spiteful Sliver. Creatures you control have, whenever it's dealt damage, deals that much damage target player or planeswalker. Okay, so that's not the end of the world for us. So we're going to have to block. They're swinging in with the first sliver. We're definitely going to block with Jorn on this one, because, I mean, there's, we don't want to die into poison damage. It's not going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we go to blockers. Let's go Jorn blocking on the first sliver. And there's no trample damage, which is going to buy us a turn. Yes, we will definitely return Jorn back to the command zone. Click OK, and they are tapped down on mana except for just being able to tap down on 1. So let's just go and add all this mana to our mana pool, because basically at this point we're in top deck mode. We have to hit a card draw source. We have to run into a board wipe. We have to run into the Villainous Wealth or something like that. So we're going to tap down Ancient Tomb, tap down all of our mana rocks to have as much mana available to us as possible. But if you are a keeper of the magic gods, if you pray to the magic gods, now would be a very good time to pray to them to see what we can assemble. Let's go and click OK. And then we go to our end step. So that's going to be right at 22 total mana available. All right, so we're going to go to our top deck. Let's go to Mana Crypt. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. Lost the flip. Going to drop us down to 18. And what do we run into? Come on, let's go. Oh, Marsh Flats. Okay. So we go Marsh Flats. We can get Jorn back out there, but that is that's going to get it. So what would you do on this one? We're just going to let our opponent just go and swing in on this one. Let's just go and tap down. We can get Jorn, but it's not really going to matter on this one. Tap down for 2. Let's go and throw a good game over into the chat and let them swing it out, see what sort of shenanigans they can assemble on their side of the battlefield as far as closing it out, and pass it back over there. So, but yeah, this is one of the fun things about a deck like this, is you can see where we have the foundation for a really good game. If we had, it is kind of a risky hand keeping a super fast mana hand like that. One of the things that we could have tried to do, not tried to do, but one of the things that would have made that hand better is if we had a payoff card. There are some times where you have just such an explosive hand that you just want to, play it and see where it goes. But unfortunately, we weren't able to cash in on any sort of card advantage. But you can see if we had something like Villainous Wealth in our opening hand as far as our payoff card, that would have been pretty good. But to be able to see some really good sliver action, some really good cascade, just to kind of really showcase how good the first sliver can be, sequencing those cascade triggers. That's a lot of fun. So we got Ward Sliver coming down, and that's going to be a really good cascade. Choose a color, protection of the chosen color. They have flying. Oh, there we go. So they're going to get Cloud Shredder Sliver. So that would have been, pretty much a good game. If we had something. Yeah, we needed to close it out with something like Damnation or something along those lines, but you can see we drew into Marsh Flats, so that's not going to get it done. But something like Crewfix in a huge mana-hungry deck like this, you can see where it's really going to set you up into the late game and just cash in some card draw. Even if we draw into Pull from Tomorrow, simply just tapping down an island in Rimewood Falls with the 11 and then still having access to 22 colorless mana, that's a pretty good feeling. And let's see if our opponent's going to pump up the volume on the first sliver. I kind of like this. All right, so they're swinging for a 7. We're going to let that go on through. All right, and they do go for the pump with that Magma Sliver. That's going to be a 19-7 on the first sliver. Swinging across, that's going to put us down to enough, and it does have poison too. Look at that. All right, let's pump it up. Let's see what we got moving. So right now it has protection from green, first strike, flying, haste, provoke. And it should have, yeah, poison too whenever it deals damage. So, and then whenever this creature's dealt damage, deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker. So talk about a beautiful commander. And, you know, this is what makes commander fun. Our opponent's going to pump up the first sliver. I kind of like this. So we're looking at 91-7. That's going to be 103-7. And they've got 3 more activations. So let's see where we can get this. There we go. That's going to be 103 commander damage. They're going to gain 103 life. That's still going to be poisonous 1 on that one. So not a huge showcasing from Jorn. I mean, we got there with the mana, but unfortunately we did not have a payoff card in our opening hand. And we went into top deck mode in a 40-card land, in a 40-land deck, and didn't have an answer for it. So, beautiful sliver board state by our opponent. In fact, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.